Well, there's hardly any information on the internet about these refillable aluminum tanks that you can get, the 1-pound refillable tanks. There's a lot of information about the steel tanks, but not the aluminum tanks. Today, I'm going to do a comparison on these two tanks, show you some differences, and explain why I probably prefer one over the other. And as an added bonus, stick around to the end of the video. I'm going to give you 3 great tips that you're going to really appreciate. So stick around for that. The same cap comes on both the steel and the aluminum tanks. And each tank you receive should come with its own 2mm Allen wrench. One thing you can see that's different is that the Flame King wrapper is on this one here. The aluminum does not come with a wrapper. And speaking of the wrapper, I always take it off so that you don't have that on there. What happens is moisture gets behind this wrapper and it will start to rust your tank. So you can take it off. So once you do, you can see the warning and all of that legal talk and everything on the tank itself. Now this goes for your 20-pound tanks too that you do a swap out at Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, or somewhere. They'll come with a plastic wrapper around it like this. And if you're going to keep the tank for a long time, pull that wrapper off because it will hold moisture and it will start to rust that tank. Doing a weight test of an empty bottle with no lid, the steel tank weighs in at 1.42 pounds. The aluminum tank, never been filled with no lid, weighs in at 1.698 pounds. So there is a weight difference between the two, with the aluminum coming in almost 3/10 of a pound heavier. And from the research I've done, the aluminum is heavier because it is built more rugged. I guess because aluminum is not as hard as steel, but you can see a difference in the ring thickness here. The aluminum is much thicker. The welds on the aluminum are much bigger. So the aluminum is really, in my opinion, it's built like a tank. I'm going to fill up the aluminum tank and we'll do a comparison of the weights of the full tank versus the empty tanks. I'm not going to waste your time showing you how to do this. There's a zillion videos out there on using these refillable adapters here. I got mine from Flame King. I really like it. I'll leave you a link down below so you can check it out. I'll be right back with a full tank. We're going to weigh the filled tanks now. The steel tank is coming in at 2.33 pounds. So it's at like 0.9 pounds of propane went in here. So not quite a full pound, but close enough. I'm okay with that. The aluminum tank comes in at 2.46. Now, it empty was 1.7, and the difference is about 3/4 of a pound. So there's less propane that went in the aluminum tank. So that is a difference. No comparison would be complete without talking about price. So let's talk about how much these things cost when you buy them. The steel tanks cost between $18 and $22 each, depending on how many you buy at a time. You can get a bundle of 4 for about $72, whereas if you buy a single tank, it's going to be about $22. Some places have it even a little bit higher than that. So that's the price for the steel. The aluminum tanks, as you would expect, are more expensive, and they come in the neighborhood of $43 to $46. So sure, they're twice the price, maybe a little bit more. So you have to make the decision which one of these you would prefer. Now, for me, I'm really liking both of these, and I've got plans on how I'm going to use each of them. Some of my camping experiences are going to be a little bit on the wet side, so of course I'm going to rely on my aluminum tanks for that. But I do use a Mr. Heater on the inside of my home sometimes just to supplement heat, and I'll be using the steel tanks for that because they'll be in a dry, climate-controlled environment, so I won't be worrying about rust at all at that point. And here's tip number 1. Here's a common problem when you cannot get any fluid to flow into your bottle. Look at your adapter. Do you see that O-ring and that plastic sleeve? Well, that came out of the previous bottle, and that's what's stopping the fuel from seeding, or this valve from seeding and the fuel to flow. You should be able to look into your bottle and see that plastic collar, and below that is the O-ring. If you can't see that, it's probably still attached to your adapter. You can pull that off and put it back on. And here is tip number 2. Well, for you Flame King owners out there, one of the biggest tips I can give you is that inside this nozzle here is a little black plastic stud, and some people think you have to align it with this little indention inside your filler cap here. Well, I talked to Flame King about that, and they said no, that's not true. You can put this bottle on in any direction and it's just fine. That little plastic nub in there is to discourage refilling of disposable bottles. I guess if you tried a disposable bottle, it just would not fit. So don't worry about any alignment, except align it with the threads, put it on there, snug it down real good, and you will be good to go. And now tip number 3. These plastic caps that comes with your refillable tanks are on there merely to protect the threads on the tanks. They don't do much, if anything, in terms of trying to control leaks that might be happening with your tanks. That's why I always go with these brass caps that go on there after you refill the tanks. You can purchase these, and I'll leave a link down below where you can get some of these brass caps. They're pretty inexpensive. They're rugged, they're solid machined brass, and they do come with a rubber gasket inside where once they go on your tank is sealed and it's not going to leak from the valve. I like to store my propane bottles in a bag. This is one right here. I'm going to open it up and show it to you. This is how it comes as you order it from Amazon. It doesn't look like too much in this packaging, but once you open it up, it's going to provide you with protection to keep your bottles in one area, keep them clean, keep them padded from bouncing around. So let me open this up and I'll show you. And there, you're all ready to go. It's got a carry strap here. The bottles are padded, keeping them together, keeping them clean. Put this in the back of your truck and take off camping or whatever you like to do. Whichever way you go, I think you're going to be pleased with the refillable 1-pound tanks. They're so versatile and you can use them on a multitude of things. I have at least 5 appliances here at my home: heaters, grills, a Blackstone, a lantern, a cook stove. All of that runs on these 1-pound bottles, and to refill these and to refill them in a very safe way, I think is just saving you tons of money, and it doesn't take long to earn your money back. Of course, I'm going to put you some links down below for all of these products, for the brass caps, and even for the refill system, so you can check those out if you're interested. I'm very happy that you watched. Stay safe out there. Have a good time if you're camping, barbecuing, fishing, hunting, whatever you're doing. And I'll see you in my next video. The aluminum tanks come packaged like this, individually. With each tank coming with a plastic cap like this, and then the 2mm Allen wrench